Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I hope wherever you are in the world, it's a beautiful day in your life. I come to you again from the morning time here in Thailand, in northern Thailand. And I wanted to take a moment to express my gratitude and thanks to those of you who have commented on some of these videos or written me personally to share that something in my message spoke to you and had value for you. Thank you for that feedback. It's good to know that what is coming through me is in service. That's the whole point of this, really, is to bring forward some of the things that I've learned and in a way that lifts others up or helps people see things in a new perspective or make a shift in a positive direction. So thank you, those of you who have commented and those of you who haven't. So again, as always, this morning I picked a card to meditate on and reflected on it, and it was very, very appropriate for me. And so I want to share some of what I got today. And what I got today is starts with, I trust my feelings. I trust my feelings. And this has personal meaning for me as I go today to the retreat center where I will be facilitating a week-long gathering with 15 other women. And so this is something I've been preparing for many months for. I have many, many things to share, and ultimately I know that I can't fit everything in, so I have to trust my feelings. I have to trust my feelings to guide me to the right information at the right time. So my thought for the day to start with for you is, where in your life would trusting your feelings more than your ideas or your thoughts help you out more, be in service to you? Good morning, Michael. Welcome. Welcome. Glad to have you here. So let me show you this card that I got that represents I trust my feelings. So it's this person sailing into the abyss of the blue, blue waters of emotion and feeling, and then the pink also of the love feeling. So this card is typically considered to be the page of cups or the page of water. And of the four elements, water correlates with feelings, emotions, intuition, and the still small voice within that offers true guidance, as opposed to the mind, which can make a lot of noise. So I trust my feelings is a great affirmation or statement of intent with this card. Now, today, this card came actually, there were two that came out in my hand when I pulled. It wasn't just one, it was two. And this next one I'm going to show you stands really in stark contrast to the first one. So I'll show it to you now. So you can see there it's a very armored person, and the word is fighting. And you can see there's also these clouds or figments of his imagination at war with each other, at each other's throats, really. And this card also, you can see they both have an arrow pointing in the same direction. And this card also represents a page or an apprentice energy. But this time in the suit of air, which corresponds to the mind, thoughts, ideas, and also the ego that is, whose nature is warring and separating when left to its own devices. So we have one option, which is how we are conditioned to be, particularly in the Western world. And for those of us who've lived in the East or in other parts of the world, we know just how intensely strong the Western mind is, how sharp the Western mind is, for better and for worse. And even like you can see his armor there is very sharp. And when we say mean things to each other, when we're at each other's throat, it's a very sharp, harsh thing. So a mind that is in control, a mind that is making decisions, a mind that is warring and fighting, as this card indicates, is one that is not trusting its feelings. They're really in direct opposition. And if we were to look at a wheel like the Native American medicine wheel or a wheel of the year, these would stand on opposite sides. This would be in the east and this would be in the west, the air and the water. So again, the invitation is, where in your life are you warring with your mind? Are you in fighting? Are you having arguments in your head, figments of your imagination, conflict that's never going to be resolved if you try to solve it with the mind? Because the mind always wants to see what's right and wrong and control things for its own victory. And where can you surrender that and trust your feelings? Now, this card is extremely vulnerable. I mean, this person is literally just, leapt into the abyss. And yet the word is trust. Because when we begin to really reclaim and trust our own feelings and emotions, what we find is that there's tremendous power and authenticity there. So welcome, Anucha. Welcome to this little live video. Good to have you here. We haven't had you here before. So again, the thought for the day is, I trust my feelings. And the contrast to that is when we fight in our minds, fight to be right, fight the old figments and dreams and stories that no longer serve us. So there's one other thing, at least one other thing that's coming up here that I want to share with you about this. Creating with the mind versus creating with the heart. That's what it is. I had a conversation a couple months ago with a very wise brother friend about the difference between creating with the mind versus creating with the heart. When we create with the mind, and this is a sign of air, the mind, we create in a way that's very strategic, but can also lead to fighting, war, conflict, because it doesn't take into account the heart. When we create from the heart, we are able to tap divine source for our creative inspiration. And when we can trust that, when we can trust the feelings that are arising, the inspirations that are arising, we have access to a great deal more creativity. So there's a question coming up. Where in your life would you love to trust, but you feel like, or you think that it's not safe to do so? Maybe that's trusting your guidance, your inspiration, that what you really want to be doing for a career is completely different than what you're doing. But your mind, your fighting mind says, oh no, we can't do that. That's not safe. That's crazy. What makes you think you can do that? You got to pay the bills. You got to do this stuff, even though you hate it with a passion. You can't do that stuff. Maybe you can dabble on the side, but you can't make your dreams a reality. You can't trust that. So just notice if that's a conversation going on in your head. Maybe it's related to career. Maybe it's related to relationships. Maybe it's related to that adventure, that experience you long to have, but oh gosh, I got to pay the bills. I can't do that. I don't have time for that. I've got a family to feed. I've got whatever it is, whatever the stories are that are running in your head that maybe are blocking you from even looking at how you might trust and allow something beautiful to unfold in your life. Maybe it's a health issue. Maybe, in your mind you're saying, I can't quit those eating sugar. I couldn't do it, which is just a mind idea. Or whatever it is that's maybe an unhealthy habit for you. Like, I really want to quit smoking, but, I don't know, I've tried 5 times before, I'll never be able to do that, or whatever it is. And what would happen if you had some argument going on in your mind about some aspect of your life, and you said, wow, you know what, I wonder what it would be like to trust my feelings about this, and to silence the mind and sit with it a bit and just tune into what I feel and trust that. Hi, Ben. Welcome. Good to see you here. So again, just to sort of sum this one up, we have the fighting mind, where we create figments of our imagination, sometimes past conflicts with people, arguments we want to have with colleagues and friends, and it's all in our mind, and we're just warring in our mind and putting up all these defenses that prevent us from accessing anything that could be joyful. Certainly prevents us from accessing our feelings. But when we relax a little bit and we begin to allow this voice of fighting to silence, just put it to the side a little bit, then the trusting of our feelings can arise, and it will be very soft at first, a soft, still, quiet voice, barely discernible against the noise of the old habits of thought. But with time, and certainly with meditation, prayer, intention, and maybe even saying that affirmation I started with, I trust my feelings. I trust my feelings. In time, we can begin to drop into that abyss. And I can tell you for sure, hi Barbara, welcome. I can tell you for sure that when we really get some traction with trusting our feelings and surrendering the old warring mind so that we can leap into that abyss, it really is this soft blue, pink, purple of being caught by the universe, by the divine, in allowance of our true dreams, our true feelings to arise and guide us. So we know, we're beginning to find out that our most powerful tool as humans are our feelings, which is why they've been so denigrated, so dismissed, so controlled. And perhaps there'll be another video when I can talk about that. But for now, the invitation is to trust your feelings and become aware of the warring battles in your mind that go nowhere and lead nowhere and serve no one, particularly if they don't serve you. And instead open up and say, I trust my feelings. I trust my feelings on this. And if you don't know what they are, then you could say, I'm going to listen for my feelings on this. I'm going to listen for my feelings on this and notice what arises. So on this beautiful morning in Chiang Mai, I wish you a most magnificent day or evening or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And I will again come to you tomorrow, perhaps a little bit earlier, from a different location. So, wishing you all many blessings, and that you too trust your feelings with much love. Mwah.